today. We're going to talk about how his family came here in the 70s, established a business. But John Garland, welcome.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you for asking.
So let's talk about your mom and dad. They traveled up from Louisiana. What part of Louisiana?
North Shreveport. We're from Shreveport. My mom and dad were born and raised. And we're high school sweethearts and eloped against their parents' wishes, and they were married for 65 years, so it was good.
So, I've got to know your dad probably more than your mom.
Right.
Talk about them starting this business and what they started selling up here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Yeah, it's excuse me, it's really the American dream. My dad worked for a company in Baton Rouge. We moved to Baton Rouge when I was probably 3 or 4. And he worked for a company called A.B. Dick Company, and they sold offset printing presses and mimeograph machines. I don't know about your listeners if they're old enough to remember those, but the old hand crank mimeograph machines, they printed tests at schools on, you probably remember those. You're just a little older than me. But
Hey, I remember using them.
Right.
In the office, right? Yes.
So he was a very successful salesman and took a lot of pride in it. And in I think about 76 branch manager position, they had an office in Nashville off of Plus Park Avenue. And the branch manager position came open there. And they had been wanting to get out of Louisiana for a while. And so just took a chance and moved up here and was the branch manager for a couple of years. And the company, A.B. Dick, that he worked for, they had a program that would kind of help you go into business for yourself, but you had to sell their products. And the territory that we still cover today was his sales territory when he was the branch manager. And just took a chance. He came out. I was young. This is 78, almost 79, and we lived in Franklin. We moved to Franklin initially, and I remember him talking to my mom, and they, made a decision, and they went and borrowed all the money they could borrow, which was $75,000, and also,
it doesn't sound like a lot for today.
Right.
But back then, that's a lot of money, John.
It was.
And he leveraged and gambled on himself.
Yep, that's it. The territory that we still cover today, that we only had one competitor at the time, so he knew it was, a good area to, any entrepreneur needs a lot of luck, got to work hard, and just have to, and the good Lord has to take care of you too, right? So, also, for your listeners, if Mr. Jim Bryant is listening, he was my mom and dad's banker, and he's instrumental. Get emotional. I saw him at a restaurant about a month or two ago, and told him about my dad passing. And he's the reason that my parents went into business. He told me that day when I saw him a couple of months ago that he knew when he met my dad that he didn't have to worry about being paid back, and he knew that he was going to be successful. And that's what's in a good banker, right? They read people, and that's the kind of man Jim Bryan is, and he's the reason why we're here today.
Well, again, when you look at it, your dad had a real unique gift. He was highly competitive in anything he did. If he was going to be a fisherman, he was going to be the best fisherman.
Yep.
If he was going to play pool, he was going to be the best pool player.
Absolutely.
So talk a little bit about your dad and him and his drive and kind of how that's translated into you.
Yeah. My dad's name was Jerry, and he was in the National Guard. He was an expert marksman. And in 1957, he won this trophy called the President's 100. It's the top 100 marksmen in the nation. So at that time, if we would have gone to if we'd have had conflict, those 100 guys would have had to go to the White House and guard it. And I remember I would take friends to our farm, and until he was late 70s, we could throw a quarter in the air and he could hit it with a 22 short. I mean, with no glasses on. I mean, and he couldn't see that well when he got later in life. But he was just great at everything he did. He was a great athlete. and I'm the youngest of four, and he and I had a special relationship. I miss him, and he made me competitive, and he believed in me.
Well, let's talk about his gift too, John. He had a real gift. Like when I first met him, after the first meeting, I walked out and I said, "This guy's known me all my life."
Right.
It was a gift to just get to know people, and here's a guy that was worth a lot, and he took time for a little guy like me. It's what I remember most. He showed me around your shop. We sat and smoked a cigar together.
Mm-hmm.
He made me feel welcome.
Right. Yeah, that's the way he was. And yeah, we had guys that worked for us on our farm, from those guys all the way up to the CEOs. He treated everybody the same, and because he came from a very, very poor background, so he knows what it's like, and how hard it is to achieve what he did, and so he treated everybody the same.
So again, family was important to him.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about yours, because yours is important to you.
Absolutely.
Married to Heather.
Yep.
3 sons.
Yep.
Let's talk about each one of them. The oldest, Luke.
Luke's 23. He graduated from UT last December. He's job searching right now. So our plan is for him to go work for somebody for 3 or 4 years and see what it's like, and hopefully come work with me and take over after I'm ready to call it quits, maybe for a little while.
So if anybody is looking for a sharp young man, I'm on his resume as a reference. He has worked for me in First Shot, grew up in First Shot. Again, just sharp, got an analytical mind. And again, your next son, just Jake. I mean, I had him, and I told you, if we could have grew him 3 more inches,
right? Yeah,
he would have been a starting point guard in Rutherford County at any school, because he was so incredibly smart.
Yeah. Well, height is not. It's not a. We weren't gifted with that in our family, but yeah, I'm proud of all 3 of my boys. But Jake's is getting ready to start his junior year at UT in electrical engineering. So he's I'm proud of him. He's doing it's tough, but he's done very well. So he's we're a lot alike. He's competitive, very competitive, as you know. You've been instrumental in all 3 of my boys, so you know them all.
And then the youngest,
Noah. Yeah, he's my bruiser.
But you know what, John? I don't think a lot of people. I hope you don't mind me sharing this.
No.
You adopted him as your own, and I've seen you treat all 3 boys growing up. There's a gap between them. You treat them no different.
No.
And I told you 3 years ago when he was in First Shot that he was going to be an outside linebacker for somebody in this county.
That's right.
And he's now playing football.
Yeah, for St. Rose. He goes to St. Rose. He loves it. And we had our jamboree last weekend. He did well. So, yeah, I'm so proud of him. I love him so much. And the good Lord knew that I needed him more than he needed me. So he's it's just been a joy in my life. So
your wife is a nurse.
Yep.
Works for 12 Stone.
Works for 12
Talk
Stone.
a little bit about Heather's background.
Yeah, she's been a nurse for 16 years. She does infusion. She's been doing infusion for, I think, 10 or 12. And but she loves what she does. It's a calling. If you're a nurse, it's a calling. I mean, it's really a thankless job, I think. She loves the company she works for. They've been so good to her, and I'm just proud of her.
So that great family man, I think you are.
Thank you.
You're even
you've been instrumental in my whole family and making me the person I am. I want you to know that. So.
Well, thank you. I don't think I had a whole lot to do with it. I think your dad and mom did. I think
I do too,
they're wonderful people, and let's talk about how you transition from selling the presses that you sold into the next phase, which were
just the plain paper copier was coming out. So in '79, when they opened, we sold the mimeograph machines and printing presses, and then the copier was out at that time. It was more liquid based. Some of your listeners may remember that. But in 1980, the plain paper copier came out. Old copiers used to have thermal paper when they were ink. So then toner based copiers came out around 1980. So then we just transitioned into a copier dealership. In 1980, we took on Sharp Electronics. We were a dealer for them, and it was just really a no-brainer. That's the way the industry was going, and the only competitor we had in town, they had transitioned, so we had to do it if we wanted to stay alive, and it turned out to be a good thing.
So how did you know? I mean, there's so many different brands.
All right.
How did you guys end up choosing the brands you chose, and why? And
well, so back then, they gave you territories. So, you would just reach out to each manufacturer, and if they had an opening in this territory, you had to put up money and commit to buy so much, and then they would make you a dealer. So initially we were a Sharp dealer, and then about 2 years later we became a Panasonic dealer, and then shortly after that a Konica Minolta, a Minolta dealer. So we carried 3 brands within about 4 years, and so another reason we took on Sharp was Nissan was a national account for Sharp. So that's when Nissan was announced, around there, maybe shortly after 1980. I can't really remember. So my dad was so smart. I mean, he was brought up in the finance business, so he knew that we were going to have some automatic business when Nissan was finally
up and running,
right? It took 3 years. I think we opened in '83, right? So that was one decision we took on Sharp at that time.
So again, it's more than just paper now.
Oh yeah. Wow.
So again, you're transitioning all the time in this.
Yeah. From then, then the mid '80s, the fax machine came out. I mean, that lasted for 10, 12 years through the '90s. But the copier didn't really change much until the late '90s when it became digital, when you could start printing to them and stuff. It was just kind of a boring industry. Everybody's got to have it. Nobody gets excited about it.
I remember when I got in the early 2000 into the loan business, John. We were going paperless.
Oh yeah.
It's not paperless.
No. We're killing more trees now than we ever have.
So how do you, again, with the cloud and everything going, you can go more digital and less paper. You can, and how many?
And we
industries?
sell both, but litigation. Eventually, you're going to print it out, and the government. Eventually, a lot of that stuff is going to be printed, so it can be in the cloud or anywhere. But and a lot of people still like three-dimensional, like holding a three-dimensional object. Some people just can't get over it. But adults 25 to 40, they're probably more in the in the cloud age and things like that. And we cater to that. You have to cater to everybody, and that's just what we do. But paper's not going anywhere
forever.
In my opinion, I don't think so.
Well, you're in the business, so
I'm
going to trust you in knowing the facts about it. So, John, when you start to look at it, the industry is always changing. And you came into the business with your dad when?
Well, I've never had a job per se. I've always worked at the company. So after college, I came right in and started selling. We had an office in Manchester that my brother and I owned. So I was down there for about 15 or 16 years. It was a good little branch. And in 2016, I merged them because we don't get any walk-in business, so there's no sense in having an office down there because everybody's, dispatched. Our technicians and everybody are dispatched to their phones and mobile devices and everything. So I merged that office in 2016. But, the industry's changing, but there's still the nuts and bolts of the industry that are going to be there, I think, forever. I may have some critics out there that think otherwise, but our business doesn't dictate any different.
You talked about your last hire off air.
Yeah.
Let's talk. I think that's interesting.
It is. His name's Johan. He's from Chile, and we just hired him last week. But he worked in Argentina, Chile, and he's only been here for 15 months. And but he has certifications. He's so smart, and he's certified in everything that we sell already. So he came on last week and jumped right in, like he's been here for 20 years, and he's just the sweetest young man. And we're just so glad to have him. And he's just thankful.
It's amazing how that all translates. Yeah. Smart, hardworking, grateful is going to end up being very successful for your company.
That's a fact. Yep. He already has been. In a week and a half, he has been. So you're into doing telephone too systems now. Yep. We got into VoIP about a year and a half ago. It's been good for us. During the pandemic, we actually grew. I mean, we had a lot of competitors that didn't do so well, but I just contributed to our staff and just our service department, and we kept stuff in stock. We ordered 6 months ahead of time where we usually don't do that, so we never ran out of anything, and so we grew during. I added 2 employees during the pandemic, and so my sales manager came to me and about selling voice over IP, and so we jumped in, and it's been good for us. It's been a little slow, but it's been good. It's going to be great. It's going to grow our company, and because we can compete against the big boys, Comcast, AT&T, anybody. So and it's all about service and getting somebody on the phone. We have a live person that answers every time.
Well, John, we're going to take a break,
okay,
and we'll be right back with John Garland.
Support First Shot at Autumn at the Alley. It will be held at Saddlewoods Farm on Franklin Road in Murfreesboro on Wednesday, September 25th from 6 until 9 p.m. It supports First Shot STEM Academy and Academic All-Stars initiatives. The night is a fantastic event with unique tastings from various spirit brands and great wines and food from the Alley on Main. Top the night off with a fabulous silent auction. Go to firstshottn.org for more information, and see you at Autumn at the Alley September 25th.
All right, guys, it's Scott. If you're feeling tired, lacking motivation and drive, gaining weight, or noticing a loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low testosterone. Don't wait. Find out now. At Low T Center here in Murfreesboro on Medical Center Parkway, they make it easy to get your levels checked. And with their on-site lab, you'll get those results back in about 25 minutes. Low T Center is not a typical doctor's office. Their physicians specialize in treating low testosterone with customized therapy, or TRT, for each patient. The experts at Low T Center have over a decade of experience helping patients achieve life-changing results, and most health insurance is accepted for treatment. For established patients with stable T levels, they also offer a convenient, physician-monitored, self-inject treatment plan that ships directly to your home each month without the need to come into the office for weekly visits. And at Low T Center, you can also get your health evaluated for treatment with prescription GLP-1 weight loss medications. Yep, you can lose weight. Get back to your best. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
We're talking with Mary Ellen Evans. Why did you choose Adams Place?
Mostly based on a realization that I wouldn't find anything more beautiful. The architecture is superb, elegant, and the people are caring. The residents, they consider it one family. I mean, this is just an unbelievable combination of good things.
Hi, this is Terry Deal at Adams Place. Call me for more information about Adams Place. Phone 615-904-9111. Adams Place.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control and the law offices of John Day.
This is a paid legal ad.
You've probably heard it a million times. If you're injured, call a lawyer. And you probably haven't because you don't know how much it will cost, how long it will take, or even if you have a case. At the law offices of John Day, we provide a free initial consultation because we understand that folks don't want to pay a lawyer only to find out they don't have a case. If you think we can help, we do so on a contingency basis, which means we only get paid if you do. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
WGNS encourages you to shop local. Let's patronize those local family businesses. Some great plays to enjoy this weekend. It's Arsenic and Old Lace at the Center for the Arts in Uptown Murfreesboro. And over in neighboring Woodbury at the Art Center of Cannon County, it's Something Rotten. Check them out. Arsenic and Old Lace here in Murfreesboro at the Center for the Arts, and Something Rotten at the Art Center of Cannon County. Don't forget the Borough Beach continues through Labor Day. That's outdoor fun in the pool and water park at Sportscom. Farm fresh produce at the Farmers Market. Right here in Murfreesboro, that's on Tuesday and Friday mornings from 7 until noon. They're at 315 John R. Rice Boulevard, next to Paws and just down from Sam's. There's also a farmer's market around the Murfreesboro Square on Saturday mornings from 8 until noon. That's a service of Main Street, Murfreesboro. And at the same time in Smyrna, the farmer's market's at the train depot, 8 until noon on Saturdays in Smyrna. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see sunny skies here this afternoon, a high in the upper 80s. Tonight, partly cloudy, low near 64. Tuesday, sunshine, and we'll see high around 90 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS.
Currently, it's 69.
Broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, MTE has provided light, comfort, and connection to our community since 1936. As your trusted energy advisor, MTE is always here to help. Connect online or download the My MTE app.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
Welcome back into WGNS and the Roundtable. I'm Andy Herzier, founder, executive director of First Shot. And no, we had a commercial on, but I'm going to go back to it. We have our Autumn with the Alley that funds our STEM Academy. If you're interested to buy a ticket, please go out to our website, firstshottn.org. We would appreciate your support. Even if you can't make it, you can still buy a ticket. It will help us. We have over 200 kids in our STEM Academy, and that stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And again, it's reaching an audience that just may not get it on an everyday basis. So again, we would appreciate your support, and like to welcome back in John Garland, who's also a supporter of First Shot.
Yep.
And going back to that, let's talk about your dad a little bit more and what he started and supported early on in his business career, because he was not just a businessman. Right. He was a community supporter. So talk about who your dad supported and why. And
if you don't mind me saying something before that, just for your listeners. My three boys went through First Shot since they were 5, 6. And this man right here has been instrumental in their lives. And so if you can support First Shot in any way you can, he's an unbelievable asset to our community. And other than just being a really, really good friend, he's just an amazing person. And so please go out and support First Shot if you can. But so back to my dad. He was we have a plaque in our office from 1980 where he was on a membership drive with Gary Brown from Roscoe Brown. I think Mel Adams was on that membership drive, I think. I haven't looked at it, but in 1980, so for the Chamber of Commerce. So he was involved in the Chamber back when Ralph Vaughn was the executive director. And then he was on the board of directors for the Boys and Girls Club for a long time. He was a member of the Boys and Girls Club growing up, so he knows the impact that they have on the communities that they serve. And he always, we were the most of, back in the 80s and 90s, the most of our philanthropic monies went to the Boys and Girls Club. And he believed in it, and he helped grow it to what it is today. He was, he's back then it was Sovereign Bank before it became Bank of America. So Mr. Bryant worked for Commerce Union. Your listeners will probably remember that. And then I think Commerce Union became Sovereign. It may have been a name before Sovereign, but anyway, my dad was a board of director at Sovereign for a few years. He has been a board director of the Red Cross, numerous different organizations, but he always gave back. I mean, we raised cattle, so we were in the cattle business, and we'd go to the sale barn, and so he mingled with everybody, and everybody knew him, and he was a good community man for a long time.
Well, I think it's so important. It's why, how you sow is what you reap.
Right.
And your dad was a great example of that. And that was one of our great conversations. He asked me what I did.
Right.
He wanted to know. And,
right.
But he just didn't want to know what I did. He wanted to know why I did it.
Right.
And he was a big why guy in it, You
had to have a purpose. Don't just go off wild. You had to know why you were doing something, whatever it was.
Yeah, and it was amazing. He helped me to also bring out my why.
Right.
And so again, I look at people in our community, John, like your dad and your family. So as you keep going, second generations, you've done a deep dive in this because you knew you were the heir apparent.
Right.
Second generations typically don't last.
No.
So you did that deep dive. What are you doing different so it doesn't happen to you?
Well, first of all,
company.
When we started talking about it 10 years ago, I read 3 or 4 books about transitioning a family business, and the how the success drops from generation to generation, and the reasons why, and we really just analyzed it, and we talked about it, and we probably should have done the transition a little sooner than we did, but it's paid off. Us taking our time, and I know every facet of our business. A lot of times, entrepreneurs will just turn it over to their son or daughter, and their son or daughter doesn't know anything about the warehouse or the ground up. I've worked every position in that office. I know how to do everything, the accounting, everything. So, and that's one thing I always say in our interviews. When I'm interviewing somebody, I tell them there's not a job in here that I haven't done or that I won't do that I won't ask you to do. Did I say that right? Yeah.
You did say it right.
Right. And I think it goes a long way because, if we're busy, I get out there and help the guys if they need help,
Well, I know you have because I've seen you haul around copiers in the back of your truck to get them to where they needed to get, and you put them in.
That's right.
So again, it's one of those things, John. I think though, it's just more than just knowing it. You've got to have a vision too, and you kind of have that vision.
Yeah.
of growing this. You're not just out there surviving.
No.
So talk about where you see your growth and why you're going in that direction.
Well, my dad and I often talked. He knew that I had a vision to grow the company and want it to be bigger. And he just always told me, he's like, John, I never thought I would amass what I have, where I came from, and I'm happy with my life and where the company is. But I kept telling him, this day and age, because the big companies in my business, they've gotten as big as they are by buying small companies like us over the last 25 years. I'm not going to name them, but there's 3 that have been wanting to buy us for 30 years. We've been in business since 1979, 45 years, right? They've been trying to buy us for 30. But we're still a good competitor. We're a thorn in their side, and we're not, Lord willing, we're not going to go anywhere. But so I've got a vision for some growth, slow growth. I have growing up, my dad had a good friend that in the 80s, he was in the copy business in the 80s, got into the computer business before that really took off, and went bankrupt. He bankrupted himself. So I remember that vividly. And so I want good slow growth. We bought in 2018, we bought a small company in 2018 out of McMinnville, and it was a good purchase for us. I'm in the middle right now of trying to acquire a small company in a neighboring county. So it's going to be, 15-20% growth for us. So it's going to be good. And with us adding voice over IP, that's going to, if it takes off in the next 24 months, like I envision it, it's going to double our business. And because the service that we're going to be able to provide those customers, those voice over IP customers that they're not getting from Comcast or AT&T or any of the big boys, we're going to be able to compete and beat them.
So when you say that you're beating the big boys, what are you beating them on? Price?
Price and service.
Talk about it.
Well, I mean, have you tried to call Comcast or AT&T lately to pay your bill or get anything done? You can't get anybody on the phone. But that's what the internet has done. Unfortunately, like I said, I probably have some critics out there, but I believe the internet has done just as much bad as it has good. That's my personal opinion. And what the internet and chat and everything has done is they don't want to be on the phone with you, because that's time. They have to pay more people. I mean, they've reduced their workforces. When they talk about layoffs, they don't tell you how many they're actually laying off. I mean, that percentage is skewed. But, we answer the phone every time. And, and then the thing with voice is that it works off your network now. So as long as you have internet and electricity, it's going to work primarily. So the only thing that'll mess up is if there's a glitch in the system, which can be fixed easily. We can pull the system up and fix it. We can see their system, fix it, just like that. I mean, it's very easy. But when somebody has a problem, we had just last week, they couldn't. We have a customer that has they're all mobile, and somebody couldn't log on, but just got on there and did it, fixed it, no big deal. They were so appreciative because the previous company they used, it would have taken them 2 or 3 days.
Do you think because you're small, because you also put a emphasis on, because I've been around you now for 10, 12 years, right, and I hear you talk about it. I miss our days with Jason Mansfield.
I do too.
You and I having really substantive talks about how to grow our business.
Right.
Like it or not, a nonprofit's a business.
Sure, absolutely.
And I've got to run it as a business. And you guys have helped me. So with that, how do you continue to distinguish yourself? Because the big boys want to gobble us all up.
Yeah, right. Sure. It's just service. We just have a little motto around the office. If you tell somebody you're going to be there at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, you better be there at 8:45. And we cover 10 counties, and we have a response time of 4 hours from the time you place your service call. But right now we average less than 2. from the time the service call is placed, and we take great pride in that. And we've gotten a lot of competitive business because of that.
Well, but I also think that you foresaw some things coming with COVID.
Yep.
Talk about that and why you did, how you stocked it, and what you went out, because again, ink was at was a rarity for a lot of businesses.
It was, yep. So we just met as a staff, and like I said, we have warehouses in Memphis, Louisville, Dallas, and we can get everything. Before COVID, we could get everything in a day. So we would stock 30 days out. So I was like, we have to order at least 6 months out, so we have stuff coming in. As they get it in the warehouse, our orders coming up, so we won't ever run out. And we didn't. We didn't have anything run out. We always had machines to sell. We always had toner to deliver to our customers, and we had a lot of calls from competitive accounts that they couldn't get anything.
So has the supply chain gotten better for you guys in your business and your?
It has in some ways. We've kind of been in an ebb and flow. It got better in about 2022, but just here in the last 6 months, one of our partners, I mean, they just didn't have any equipment in. And you can't get an answer why. So, good thing we carry 3 brands, because we have to sell something. But I don't think. It's just my opinion. I don't know if these Fortune 500 companies learned from COVID on the supply chain issue and everything, just by what I'm seeing from our little company and our ability to get stuff.
Well, John, we're going to take our last break.
Wow.
And come back and finish up with John Garland, MTR.
One in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
This is Doris Ann with the Rutherford County Farm Bureau. We would like to show our appreciation to all of our Farm Bureau members by inviting you to our annual membership meeting Thursday, August 15th at Lane Agri Park, 315 John Rice Boulevard. We will start serving barbecue with all the trimmings at 5 p.m. The meeting will be immediately following. For more information, call 615-893-1213 or visit our website at rcfarmbureau.org.
This is Kim Dunaway from Sunshine Nutrition Center. You hear me on Monday mornings at 7:20 talking about how to lead a healthier lifestyle. We carry supplements, personal care, and grocery items at both our Murfreesboro and Smyrna locations, family owned and operated since 1989.
At Bud's Tire Pros, we sell all major brands of tires, and we invite you to stop by today for that next set of tires. Or maybe you need us to check out your vehicle before you head out of town. We offer everything from brakes to batteries, alignments, and more. No appointments necessary, just stop on by.
I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstirepros.tn.com.
You know the value of a good neighbor, someone you can trust, someone who looks out for you. And when it comes to Medicare, it's good to have someone on your side. That's where Senior Financial Group comes in. We're Tennesseans, just like you. And we've partnered with United Healthcare, a trusted name in health insurance. Together, we'll guide you through your Medicare options. We will compare plans, answer your questions, and ensure you get the most of your Medicare benefits with United Healthcare. healthcare. Don't navigate Medicare alone. Call Senior Financial Group at 800-690-0251 or visit sfgmedicare.com for a free plan review today.
If you're not waking up to the Wake Up Crew, here's what you've been missing.
You can only get that on the Wake Up Crew, right?
Yes. No one else is talking about it at all.
Don't miss the Wake Up Crew with John, Brian, and Dalton. This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
Welcome back into WGNS and the Roundtable. I'm Andy Herzier, founder and executive director of First Shot. Really good friend of mine. We're going to finish up today, John, and I really appreciate you coming in, but we were talking about off air. You're local versus these big companies that have gobbled everybody up. We won't name their names. Why is it so important to the Garlands? Because it is your dad too.
Sure.
Living in you.
Sure.
I know that from our conversation. Why is it important for you to be a locally owned business here in Murfreesboro?
Well, first of all, is that, like you said, I want to continue to make him proud and keep up, our family name and what he built, and he and my mom built, and because I know all of our customers, and people like to do business with people they know, and it's I like seeing them at the ballpark, at the grocery store, and I stop in and see them from time to time, so. It's just nice to know that and just be appreciated. They like to, people want to do business locally. They really do at heart. Sometimes they can't. Now the way we've grown, sometimes you can't do business locally. But for the most part, I think people. Our motto at the office is we go to our customers first, in pest control, whatever. And if we can get it, and that's who we do business with, and I think a lot of people do that in their own business.
Well,
you support your supporters, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
I'll just hate to
It's the way
say
it goes.
someone that has written a check. We drove to Manchester to purchase something from
Absolutely.
them because they've been a supporter of First Shot.
Right.
So again, I think it's one of those things that we try to eat at local establishments. And they've been great supporters, but you do the same, John. You're a local guy.
Yep.
And it's not, again, you go out to the football fields now with Noah, I see you shake more hands than the mayor.
Sometimes that's good and bad.
So but you've entrenched yourself. Your family has entrenched itself here in Murfreesboro, and you guys, if anybody knows anybody, and that has a copier that needs help, go look up MTR. They're locally owned. They love this community. That's what I like most about y'all, John. You love this community.
It's been very, very good to us. And it's crazy to see the growth since we moved here. Our first office was in a little strip mall that Mr. Waite owned next to Sloan's Cycle. And where we've come since then, where this city, how this city has grown has just been amazing.
So when you look at it, your location now is behind Church Street.
Well, it's on the corner of Southgate Boulevard. People know where the Board of Education is, so if you turn to go to the Board of Education, we're right there on the corner. We built that building in '89, so there was nothing over there then, but now it's busy, and it's a headache now. But I'm sure Mayor McFarland will get something done about that.
Well, you probably can't since it's a state highway.
That's right.
Right?
Sorry,
The amazing thing is, we complain about certain things, the traffic, right?
Sure.
But that traffic is a headache to us, but that headache to us
it's been a good headache.
Yeah, it means you're going to have business.
Yep, that's right.
So, John, going forward, where do you see your business in the next 5 to 10 years? You're acquiring another business.
Yep. I'm just gonna. There's a lot of little companies like us still around. So my main purpose is going to be acquisition. As well as leading the company. But we've got such a good staff. I'd love for. At my dad's funeral, I told everybody that I hope they got to meet all of our staff because they it's just a well-oiled machine. They keep it going.
Well, it's not just a well-oiled machine. Let's be honest. It's a family.
It is. It is.
How they spoke,
Yep. Yep.
of him, and you knew it was a family ran. And I've heard you when you go in, hey, do you need anything?
Yep.
So again, it's not just about them working and getting a paycheck from you.
No.
It's about living life together. You guys do that well. And I think that's something your mom and dad did.
Sure. Yeah, they did. They believed in it, and that's why we've always had good tenure at our company. We don't have a lot of turnover, and it goes back to what they instilled long ago. So just hope to keep it going. But I don't know if the industry's going to change that much. I mean, obviously the cloud and things like that, it's going to get more and more. And we're in it. We're going to continue to evolve in it. And but there's some other areas that I don't really want to talk about now that we'll probably get into. But at the end of the day, we're just going to keep doing what we do. We're going to keep doing what we say we're going to do, and do the right thing every day, and give our customers what they expect. And
what percentage of your business is lease versus purchase?
Oh, it's 85 to 90%. So, and that's grown. We have our own in-house leasing company. So, and that's another part of my vision too, is to continue to grow that. And I'd like to get into financing some other things other than just office equipment. So those are some things I have on my plate.
Always thinking,
yeah.
Always dreaming.
Yep.
Right?
You have to.
It's amazing that we get to have these conversations more off air than now on air. I hope people really have enjoyed getting to know John Garland. What I'd like to say most about him is he's probably one of the most loyal friends I could have ever asked for to get to know, and I truly appreciate you and your family so much. But John, give a pitch why they need local versus big.
Well, just like I said, we're gonna be there. We're gonna answer the phone for you. We're gonna be there quicker than anybody, get you back up and running. We do what we say we're gonna do, and we compete on price with everybody. So you're gonna get the best price, but you're gonna get service that you've never even knew you could get before. And the thing is, if you need to contact me, you can contact me. I'm always available. So, and I'll answer your call, talk to you about anything. But if we say we're going to be there and we're going to do it, we're going to be there. And Lord willing, hopefully for another 45 years.
So again, not just copiers, telephone.
Oh, wide format. Fax is still around, but not much. But pretty much
what was
office
the first
equipment.
one you just said?
Wide format. So
Why?
plotters.
Explain.
Yep. So it's plotters, survey, wide format for house drawings, that stuff. So that's gotten to be a really big business now for us. So they're affordable now. 10 years ago they weren't affordable. People would have to outsource it, but now they're affordable, and just about every home builder, engineering firm, they all have them in their offices now. So it's been a really good business for us.
Next up for the Garland family. Jake graduating, Luke getting a job.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So third generation, how do you get the boys to want to come alongside you, John? I
didn't push it on him, and my dad didn't push it on me. I wanted to be a stockbroker. I went to college for finance, and that's what I wanted. I loved stocks. I still do, but and just, you know, I realized that I was probably more of a salesman at heart. I like to get out and meet people. My dad always told me, don't ever miss a chance to meet anybody that you don't know, and I don't today. I mean, regardless of who it is. And you know, you've seen me. I have a gift to gab, so I like to talk and shake hands. And,
so you know, I hate it. When I was growing up, my dad would be sitting at a table, we'd be out eating, and he'd be shaking the hands of the people that he didn't know.
Right.
You know, and here you are, a 10, 11, 12-year-old boy, your dad's embarrassing you.
Right.
But that gift that your dad had, you have that.
Yeah.
I think it has served your business well.
Yeah, it has. It has. It really has.
Talk about a little bit more about your dad and how unbelievably competitive he was in his sports, and what sports was he really gifted at?
He was a good golfer. We won so many tournaments together. Golly. He was a good tennis player. He was a great ambidextrous athlete. And I'm left-handed, but I do primarily everything right-handed. And a billiard player, I mean, you know, obviously a marksman, just a bowler, man. They used to be in a league. I mean, his average 220, 230, 240, you know, just everything. He was just good at everything he did, but he put the time in, you know, to be good at it. But you know, he would get bored with stuff and go on to something else, and try to get good at it. You know,
I always thought it was after he felt like he mastered it, he wanted to go and master something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the way it was.
Just talking with him.
Yep.
He was such an interesting man to me, John.
Yeah,
because he was so good at so many things, and again, I think you have a lot of that in you.
I appreciate that. And I hope so.
So
if you don't mind me, just putting a plug in. He was diagnosed with dementia 4 years ago. So any of your listeners, if you've had to deal with that with any of your family members, Alzheimer's, you know how terrible it is, but you know, give to those organizations too. We've got to figure out what the cause of that disease is.
Yeah, I mean, terrible. It was, you know, I can remember us having conversations, just how hard it is on the family members.
It is.
And you can see that it still brings you to tears. Right. For those listening that aren't streaming us, again, there's so many good ways to give in this community.
There is.
Find something that you're passionate about.
Yep.
Give to it. There's a lot. Again, we're going to have some, in the future, we're going to have some other, what I call smaller nonprofits on air to let you know what they do in our community and how they're making a difference. There's a lot of, you know, I talked to a lady one time, she said there's 950 nonprofits in Murfreesboro.
Wow.
So find something in our community. This, you know, this roundtable is about community,
right?
And get involved. The service, you know, it's a dying thing when you go to a lot of these service organizations. We need to get back involved. We need to get our 30s and 40-year-olds back involved.
Yep.
And we've got to hand it off.
That's fact.
And again, I want to thank John Garland for coming in.
Thank you
being a
so
part
much.
of the roundtable.
I appreciate it.
Premier 6 Theater on Broad in Jackson Heights.
Let's all go to the movies.
Check out what's showing at murfreesboromovies.com. Popcorn popped fresh daily.
Movies like a good old primitive.
Premier 6 on Broad in Jackson Heights.
Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, flagship station for MTSU Sports. Courthouse clock time, 10 o'clock.
Hi, this is Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. You might know me as the voice of the Blue Raiders, but I want to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Whether you're buying or selling, It's time to choose CHIP. Do you have a growing family and need to upsize? Are you an empty nester now and need to downsize? Are you thinking of selling your current home but just worried you can't find something else? Well, it's time to choose CHIP. I'm looking to be your trusted advisor in real estate. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
At Middle Point Landfill, we strive to serve our neighbors.
This county is willing to put themselves out there and take some new initiatives.
Mike Clausen, General Manager of the Middle Point Landfill.
We want to transform Middle Point into a sustainability campus where we are building recycling facilities. We're building cutting-edge diversion facilities.
Middle Point values its relationship with you, which is why we never tire of serving our neighbors throughout Rutherford County.
Learn more at middlepointlandfill.com.
Hi, this is Trevor from Bell Jewelers. We have 4 graduate gemologists, including myself, at Bell Jewelers. That gives us the ability to appraise jewelry and give educational information. And we offer to buy customers